Alright, it is time for another stranded character. So, let me re-explain the concept behind this character a little bit. You are an OP10 character, stuck at OP10 with absolutely no equipment, no money, and you have to figure out what to do. And the end objective is to go ahead and try to kill Terramorphous at OP10. Now, I held a vote for this, just like I did last time, and people chose Krieg this time, which arguably is one of the easier runs, as he is not very gear reliant for the general story of the game, but when it comes to actually fighting bosses, it can become a little bit more difficult, so we'll just kind of have to see how it goes. Last time, I had a really trash build to start the character out with, but since it is so easy to just go respec a character, I didn't really do it this time, because all you need to do is backtrack to Fight for Sanctuary DLC, grab some loot, go to DigiPeak, sell that loot, respec your character, and then you can spec it however you want. We are going to be going for a weird hybrid. It's mainly just a melee build realistically, but I do have a couple points in skills that'll be more gun favored, such as Elemental Elation, such as Bloodbath over here. I do have a point in Thrill of the Kill for the extra lifesteal there. We've got a little bit of Elemental Empathy for some lifesteal over here. And that's generally just how we're going to run the character. I will admit, I'm not necessarily sure how this will go. So we'll just kind of have to see, because I am not really used to playing Krieg anymore. I haven't played it in a long time. And then also for the mods that we are running, we have BL2 Fix, but I have disabled any loot changes, so the loot will be purely vanilla. We've got configurable view models, which will make the guns look nicer. We have a sliding mod. We have a part notifier mod that shows the item parts and stuff like that. Just a couple quality of life mods, nothing too crazy. Alright, well, Claptrap has given us our first piece of equipment here, a slag relic, not necessarily useful, but it exists, and we have a droog. Okay, well we're not, we're not like Zero or anybody like that, but this is useful. Now, a big problem we're gonna have is trying to stay at, or, above health gate, and then trying to take one big hit so that we can trigger release the beast. So initially, running into this area, it might be a little bit rough because we are going to try to bait out one really big hit just to get to 33%, up our action skill, and then start swinging on dudes. Now, if this doesn't work and it actually is like a bad idea, we will of course do Snowman DLC or something like that to get some equipment, and we'll just see how it goes. Okay. Maybe at OP10 the whole gearless Krieg thing is a little harder of a sell. Maybe even just a simple melee class mod or a health shield would be a good investment, so let's go do that. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and explain how roid shields and Krieg interact here, because a lot of people think that Silence the Voices gets increased damage from roid. It does not. It gets increased damage from Fuel the Blood, for some reason. So punching yourself in the face is buffed by this buff, and it does nothing to do with roid shields at all. And we just prefer health shields because they provide more of a stopgap for Krieg, and Krieg already has a crap ton of melee damage, so he doesn't need the extra melee damage from roid, basically. So we've got a roid shield, we've got a little bit of some stuff going on. I don't know if I really want to go with the roid shield. We will be absolutely dancing with death every single time that we get close to a mob, so it could be a bad idea, but don't know if we really want to sit here and try to grind out for an Anshin or anything like that. Kind of just depends. Alright, so we've got a little bit of equipment here, not necessarily a whole lot to work with, but we've got a nice little health shield. Melee relics are additive damage, not multiplicative, so this damage will feel like nothing, unfortunately, but it is what we have. And then we do have a slag SMG and a slag grenade. So hopefully pairing these two together to get the extra slag damage, maybe our melees will feel good. And then hopefully with our max health, we should be able to afford a hit or two so that we can actually like get near the mobs. But we'll just kind of have to see how that goes. All right, so we've got a couple toys to mess with. We've got way better spawns on these bully mongs because last time it was a bully rot with 2 adults. But this time, hopefully this will feel a little bit better here. Get some throws off because we have Feel the Blood procced. As Thrown Buzz Axe does get buffed by it, it also means we won't just randomly hit ourselves in the face with an STV sickle. So just a whole lot of reasons to go ahead and try to do that. But yeah, we can just slowly chew our way through, eventually get to a couple target farms that I would like for the character, and it should feel fine. Maybe not the best, but it'll be fine. And then of course, since we are playing Krieg, just choosing not to die is always an option. Just wait for the action skill and then press it, and then just, wow, free life, cool. Okay, so yeah, we are very high chance to die randomly character right now. But in terms of actually being able to get rid of mobs, we do a pretty reasonable job. Of course, if I could get a more reliable slagnade or something like that to go ahead and, you know, slag mobs at the start of a Buzz Axe, that'd be a great idea. But it's doing okay, at the very least. We love playing Krieg. Krieg the Sicko is the best character. He is truly the most fun. Now, the only really big stopgap for the early game here will probably be Captain Flint. I have to imagine Captain Flint might be a little bit of trouble. But if we can knock him off the ledge with a little bit of a stock grenade, and then just kind of bully him outright, that should work. Probably, hopefully. So we'll see. Just having that little bit more health and a little bit more shield to know that I can survive an extra hit or two so that I can like actually plan out when I want to use Release the Beast is super nice. And of course it helps that health gate is a unspoken mechanic in the game to allow the character to get a little bit of free wiggle room here and there. You can definitely abuse it, I will say it is quite strong. But it's great for what we're doing right now because it means that we can just kind of get away with some stuff. Okay, so in progression, there might also be a couple spots where throwing Buzz Axes might not go so well unless I respec. Since I do have Buzz Axe Bombardier, they do count as a little bit of some grenade damage. So enemies like Constructors really won't care about them at all. And we will have to keep that in mind and maybe respec dependent on what gear we get. But we'll just kind of have to see how it goes.
I feel the crimson.
There we go. Okay, so got rid of the small one first so that we could just hop right on top of the big gun and not have to be bullied by them. Probably a good idea. Go, got him out of his turret. I do need to be a little bit careful here as I don't want to go down right away. Hopefully this Psycho will stay right here. Tried to apply debuff, failed to apply debuff, and probably cry a little bit. And we're back, no problem. Definitely didn't almost die unnecessarily. Alright, cool. So now we just have to deal with the fact that he has a Torgue shotgun, which can absolutely murder anyone's health bar, regardless of stats. You know, because that's some good old gearbox balancing. And we'll be good. There we go. Just need a little bit of slag and some encouragement. No problem. And one of the only unfortunate things about playing Krieg is the fact that he takes severely reduced knockback because they wanted him to be heavy, so he couldn't get pushed away by melee mobs during melee rampage. So, you know, didn't want him to not be able to be the melee class he's supposed to be. So just kind of have to deal with that. Not be able to do any grenade jumps, or at least do very reduced and not great grenade jumps instead. And it shouldn't be too big of a problem, but it might keep us from doing some funny stuff. Alright, so, interesting. Flint appears to be confused about what to do here. So we're just gonna kinda do this to him, I guess. Okay, sure. Not exactly how I thought that was gonna work, but it worked. Realistically, the plans for the run are pretty standard in terms of like Krieg equipment. The only major problem is I do need a flacker from Warrior. I think we could go ahead and try to read-only farm out the moonshot kill and try to get an okay flacker that way. I think that'd be a good way to go about it. Of course, we could also just do Torg DLC for a little bit and get to the beatdown bar brawl or the death race or something like that. And then we could farm that out for a flacker as well if we needed one earlier. But I'd prefer to not do that because that's a lot of unnecessary steps. Just to get a single legendary we know we'll already get in the progression that we have to do. But we could if we need to. I would love to get a good slag weapon, but I don't want to really stop to get a slagga. And I know I could get a ruby, and a lot of people were talking about the ruby or the grog last time and how it would be a really good pick, because of course it would be. But I really want to just try to invest in character, like in a character's toolkit, rather than like crutch on a meta weapon, or at least this type of run. So relying on elemental empathy would be a little bit more fun for myself personally. So I think that's probably what we'll do. But I will probably still need a slag weapon. So if we find like a slag snider or something like that that provides a ton of slag, I'll probably use that. Alright, Bad Maw. We're just gonna try to kite him over here and then hopefully just sort of knock him off the map. That's the plan anyway. I do of course need to get out of Buzz Axe though to that. And I have to commit a little further into this hiding spot so that he steps around. It's very spooky because he can just like, you know, two-shot me. Okay, so what out of bounds can I get away with on Krieg? Probably not many. I'd probably just have an easier time trying to deal with the map. Actually, hold on. When do you get the quest for the the rats? Does it have to be after you free Roland? It probably is, right? Actually, you know what? Hold on. I have a very large... no, that's a lot of... Well, okay. Do I get a fastball? Nah. Yeah, okay. I was trying to avoid the fastball because I felt like it might be a little bit too easy. But yeah, the fastball would be smart. It would definitely be a smarter move. So, yep, we are going for our first meta item here. We're going to try to get a decent fastball. That's all we really want. I don't care about how high damage it is. Preferably explosive would be cool. But we just want any old fastball that can deal okay damage to be able to just slap some dudes real quick. So that we can, like, not have problems in the future. Oh, that was actually the third run. Okay, cool. So, that'll work.
Rampage and heal! Heal and rampage!
Okay. Even if I do have to fall back on our melee, this is a nice little reliable bit of chip damage we can deal here with the fastball. He's dead. Killed him. What I wouldn't do for a good sickle comm right now. Good silence of voices comm would be so OP. Alright, that should be enough. Yes, it is. Okay. So, just with this 1+5, we gain 250% more melee damage, which is a lot more. So that should be pretty nice. Of course, if we had gotten a blue, we could have, I don't know, an extra 20% and then an extra 50 more percent because of just having Empty the Rage here. So that would be nice, but even just 250% here is good. We'll try to take this into Bloodshot and see if it goes any better, because hopefully it will. Oh, barrel. It's okay though, we are definitely doing a lot better. Yeah, death will still certainly happen, but the fact that we can actually like deal damage to enemies feels really, really good. So I'm fine with this. I will say, this is a more relatable experience for a newer player, though. The fact that I'm actually, like, struggling in Bloodshot is good. Because this is very accurate to how it would actually be for a player. Especially one so reliant on random scrappy gear. That being said, we went from, like, cruising to, like, making very little progress. So it's only a little bit concerning at this point that this is how we're doing. I might end up just having to save quit or jump off the map here. I'm gonna try a little sneaky outside. Oh, so this ceiling is not solid, so it dumps us here, is the strat. So I'm half tempted to backpedal and grab this respawn point. I think that'd be a very safe, smart idea. So yeah, after a little bit of out-of-bounds shenanigans, we have managed to get this far in Bloodshot, which is a lot better. We still have a good little distance to go though, so we will need to be a little bit smart about this. The next respawn point isn't for a little while now, so any threats like, you know, him just randomly showing up are a little bit concerning. So we do need to be exceptionally careful here about how we run through. If I'm lucky, I can just dead sprint to the next respawn point. Perfect. Okay. Cool. So we actually made it to this part of the map. Great. Not the most, not the best that we've ever done by far, but we made it, so that's good. Alright, so here's where things can get more interesting, to say the very least, is robots. This might suck, or it might go well, I don't really know. I am a little bit worried about this next part because Warden resists grenade damage and we are almost entirely grenade damage. And for the parts where we're not grenade damage, we have a chance to hit ourselves in the face. We have a chance for the boss to just, you know, stomp on us and light us on fire instantly. There's a whole lot of potential problems that could come up really, really fast. The only convenient thing is the fact that we can save quit next to that fast travel over there and then reload to restart the timer for the fight. So we could just infinitely throw attempts at the boss until we actually go ahead and get the kill here, which is really convenient. Alright, so yep, to start Warden's fight, immediately we are just gonna go run over here and trigger the respawn, and then probably just save quit to go ahead and make sure we're entering the fight as best we can. And let's see if we can do anything like this. Much better.
Judging me? Get out of my head!
Well, it was going much better until we did that.
Blood on the dirt! Stop talking to me! Angry! I'm angry! The crimson jets fill me up! Gonna fight big!
Hey, good little constructor dance. Not too bad. So just step away if they're going to do the melee stomp, walk forward if you can afford to walk forward, and then just, you know, try to bait out your little timers and stuff. Nothing too crazy. Honestly, not even the best fight that I've ever done against Warden. Kind of stressful even. But we managed to do it. So now Bloodshot is done. That took double the time it took to get to Bloodshot. We spent half of today's playthrough just in Bloodshot. So I'm glad we're done with that. And we are unfortunately out of time, but that means that tomorrow we can go ahead and get storm fronts, we can go ahead and stack damage for blood blister, we can throw fastballs at people at max stackage, we can do all the stuff. It'll be great. It'll at least be better than that. So that feels really good. That will have to do it for today. So, Stranded Krieg Day 1.